Assalamu alaikum. Very good afternoon. This is Farhana Arabia Shumi, Assistant Teacher, Vikarnasanun School and College. How are you, my dear students? Hope you are fine. And I am also fine. From this Noon Batayon live classes platform, now I am going to take your BGS class of class 9. Now I am going to take your BGS class of class 9. So, dear students, get ready and join with me. Students of class 9, those who are joining with me, please write your name and section in the comment section. And those who are joining here from other institutions, please you write your name and institution's name, okay? And if you have any question, you can write in the comment section. Dear students, at present we are passing a crucial situation in our country, and the reason is COVID-19. Many people have lost their lives and jobs for this. So we think in the long run we will face different economic crises in our economy. Today I want to take a class on chapter 12 of your textbook. The name of this chapter is The Economic Indicators and the Nature of the Economy of Bangladesh. Dear students, do you know what are the economic indicators? What are the economic indicators of a country? These are, yes, economic indicators are gross national product, GNP, gross domestic product, GDP, per capita income. To know the economic condition of a country, it is necessary to know gross national product, gross domestic product and per capita income of the people of that country. These are called economic indicators, and these indicators indicate economic condition. Whether the economy of a country is advancing or falling back or remaining same compared to the previous condition, if compared to the previous condition, we can know this condition through these economic indicators. Okay, I have said 3 economic indicators, right? GDP, GNP and per capita income. There are also many indicators, and guess what are the indicators, other indicators without these? Actually, economy agriculture oriented or it has undergone industrialization. Then education rate and the availability of health facilities of the people. Economic infrastructure has undergone upward development. Then environment friendly sustainable development, life expectancy. Economic infrastructure has undergone upward position. Then the capital formation and investment are in upward trend, etc. These are all together indicate economic condition of a country. Along with these economic indicators, right? Now, the definition of GNP. What is GNP? I think you know the definition. Okay, follow the screen. The monetary value of the amount of material and immaterial goods and services produced in a particular year, generally in 1 year, by investing the labor and capital of a country on the natural resources or land of that country is called gross national product, I mean GNP. Okay, and in GNP, the remittance, I mean those who live in abroad, they are known expatriate, and their sending money is known, when they send money in our country, this money is known as remittance, and this remittance will be counted in GNP. Okay, then definition of GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is the summation of the financial values of the goods and services produced at the final phase in a specific time period, generally in 1 year, by all the people residing inside any country or within its geographical boundary. A specific time period, I mean in a fiscal year. Do you know when the fiscal year start? Fiscal year start from 1st July, and this year end in the next year of 30th June. Okay, and so in a fiscal, when we count fiscal year, 2 year counted here. So when we count GDP, the geographical boundary is very important. I mean those who live inside in a country, only their income will be counted here. Okay, now definition of per capita income. The per capita income is the average income of the citizens of any country in any specific period of time, I mean in a fiscal year. Okay, average income of the citizens of any country in a specific period of time is known as per capita income. Okay, now let's check the comment section. Time, I mean in a fiscal year. Okay. Smatter, Tismin, Assalamualaikum, Alaikum Assalam, Rizwana Ahmed Ayen, then Zara Tasneem, roll 79, section A, main morning Bangla version. Okay, Alaikum Assalam everyone. Many students are joining here, and I hope you will stay with me at the end of this class. Okay, now the characteristics of the economy of Bangladesh. The characteristics of the economy of any country dependent on the nature of economy of that country, and the nature of economy of a country is again dependent on some factor like geographic nature, natural resources, education, and the level of skills of the people of that country. Bangladesh, I mean in Bangladesh, there are some characteristics in our economy. Okay, now I will discuss all characteristics one by one. Number 1, the agriculture based economy. The agriculture based economy, since ancient time, our agriculture has been counted as, our economy has been counted as agro-based economy. And here 40.60% people engage, in our 40.60% manpower of our country, they are directly engaged in agricultural activities. And agriculture sector has a remarkable contribution to the export income of the economy in our country. And raw materials of different industries of industry sector are supplied from agriculture sector. Okay, so I think we know agriculture, our economy actually developed on the base of our agriculture. Number 2 characteristic is the nature of industrial sector. Of course, if we study from previous year, we can say that gradually the contribution of industrial sector in our economy is increasing than the agriculture sector. And industrial sector formed with heavy industries, medium scale industry, small industries, gas, electricity supply, water supply, communication etc. all together form industrial sector. Number 3 characteristic is excess of population and low rate of education. We know in our country we have overpopulation, and in per square kilometer, do you know how many people live in per square kilometer? In per square kilometer in our country, 1015 people live in per square kilometer. And the population growth rate in 1991 and 2001 were comparatively 2.17% and 1.48%. The density of population and the growth rate of population both are high in our country if we compare this with our neighboring country. And population is the main asset of a country. And here the literacy rate in our country is 72.8%. And if we want to turn our population into human resource, we need to provide education, training and employment for them. And by providing this, we can turn our population into human resource. Okay. And number 4 characteristic is the widespread unemployment. Widespread unemployment. We know we have overpopulation, and most of the people, they are engaged in daily labor activities. So their wage is very low, and due to per capita income low per capita income, we see the widespread unemployment in our country. Number 5, the per capita income and low standard of living. We know in our country actually we cannot create employment opportunity for the people, and the labor they get low wage, and for these reasons the per capita income of our country is very low, and living standard is related with per capita income. So 1/4 people of our country, they live under poverty level. Number 6, the low rate of savings, capital formation and investment. Okay, low rate of savings, capital formation and investment. These three, low rate savings, capital formation and investment, these are related with per capita income. Due to low per capita income, we see here the savings, capital formation and investment in other sector is very low and not mentionable. I mean, Bangladesh is entangled within a circle of poverty, but government has undertaken planned development program for the to overcome to come out from this circle. Government has taken planned development program to overcome of this circle. Number 7 characteristic is the weakness of infrastructure. The infrastructure can be divided into two types: social and economic infrastructure. And which are social infrastructure? Do you know? Education, health, recreation, these are known as social infrastructure. And economic infrastructure, road, bridge, culvert, etc. I mean communication system, known as economic infrastructure. Actually, the socio-economic infrastructure is the foundation of economic development of a country. But in our country, this infrastructure, these infrastructure are underdeveloped and insufficient. Number 8, the dependence on foreign aid. As Bangladesh is a developing country, so here government has taken, or always government takes, different development program, and for implementing this program we need huge amount of money, and our government is unable to collect this money from our internal sources. So our government always take financial support from different developed countries and international financial organization. Sorry. Just 1 minute. Okay, I am saying again, I was discussed about the dependence on foreign aid. Okay, for implementing different government plan or projects, government always take financial support from different developed countries and also from different international financial organization. But recently receiving loan and grant from international arena is gradually decreasing. Okay, and foreign trade, there are two sides aspect of trade: export and import. And in foreign trade sector, we see in our country the import is large more than export. Here we see for a long time we see there is deficit in foreign transaction, and Bangladesh faced this crisis for a long time. And last one characteristic is the imperfect use of natural and human resources. Imperfect use of natural resources. We know we have many natural resources like fertile land, rivers, forests, mineral resources, but we have not skilled manpower to procure these natural resources. So we cannot distribute these resources among the people. And human resource, how can how can we turn our population into human resource? We know a large portion of our population, they are illiterate. If we want to turn them as human resource, we need to provide education, training and employment for them, and like this way we can turn our population into human resource. Okay, these are the characteristics of the economy of Bangladesh. Then the significant obstacles to the economic advancement of Bangladesh. Significant obstacles to the economic advancement of Bangladesh. As Bangladesh is a developing country, we see there are different types social, economical problem in our national life and also in our national life. So we need to detect these problems, which are create barrier to our economic development in our country. Before the discussion about the obstacles in agricultural sector, I want to say something about the backwardness, background of backwardness of our economic advancement. We know the British ruled our country for how many years? The British ruled our country for near 200 years. And during the British period, they smuggled money, wealth from this Indian subcontinent to their country. And once upon a time, I mean during the Muslim rule, we export different types cloths and agricultural goods in different countries of the world. But the British grabbed all trades from us. And for this, they did not pay attention for our economic development. And later on, after the division of India, Pakistan, this present Bangladesh was a part of Pakistan, and during the Pakistani period, we were oppressed by the Pakistani rulers, and they also did not pay attention for our economic development. And they had, the Pakistani ruler, they had influence on our different sectors like our government service, our administration, in our defense sector, in our culture, etc. They had influence on this sector, and for this, for a long time, the British, the Pakistani rulers, they did not pay attention for our economic development. Now, I will discuss the obstacles in agriculture sector. This is a part of agriculture sector. Now, the obstacles in agriculture sector are the area of agricultural land is decreasing. We know agricultural land is decreasing. The main reason is overpopulation. For overpopulation, for meeting their demand, we are establishing houses, mills, factories on the agricultural land, and for this, the agricultural land is decreasing. And number two, different facilities have not yet reached to a major portion of people concerned with agriculture. Those who are involved in agricultural activities, they are not getting sufficient facilities, like they are not getting high yielding seeds, fertilizer, then they cannot provide modern irrigation system, and these facilities have not yet reached to a major portion of people concerned with agriculture. Number three, insufficiency of institutional facilities. Institutional facilities means peasant group, farmers, they need financial support for agricultural production. But in our country, we see we have not sufficient bank loans, or our government or private sector, they are not able to establish different banks which are provide to institutional facilities or loan facilities for the farmers. So there is a insufficiency, we see insufficiency in agricultural sector. Number 4, the biggest obstacle to agriculture development is infrastructural weakness. We know, I have said there are two sides of infrastructure. Economic infrastructure indicate road, bridge, culvert, etc. I mean communication system. I mean due to underdeveloped communication system, the farmers, they cannot transfer different commodities, agricultural commodities, from one place to another place. Okay, and this is also a major problem in agricultural sector. Number 5, lack of electricity, higher transport expense in marketing produced goods, and lack of facility to preserve and store goods. Lack of electricity, we know we are not able to produce electricity because electricity is necessary in production and also in industrial sector, and we face this problem. And another one, lack of facility to preserve and store goods. Actually we have not modern preservative system, so that we cannot preserve different agricultural production for a long time. Number 6, dominations of brokers and middlemen in all stages. Dominations of brokers and middlemen in all stages means when peasant, they produce something, they sell these commodities to the brokers and middlemen in a very low price, and when the brokers and middlemen, they sell these commodities to the other one, they sell these commodities in a high price, at a high price. Okay. Number 7, obstacle is Bangladesh is called a country of natural calamities. We know all the year round we are affected by different types of natural disaster, and for this the cultivation and the crops damaged by the different types of natural disaster. And actually we face this problem due to our geographical position, and all these are obstacles in our agricultural sector. Now industrial sector. In the screen we are seeing different industry in our country. And what are the obstacles in industry? I have said that the contribution of industrial sector in our country is gradually increasing, but in our country we cannot see sufficient large industry, and there are also some reasons behind this. And what are the reasons? Main one is weakness in the financial infrastructure. Same thing in industrial sector, we see for establishing heavy industry or other industry, we are not getting sufficient financial support from bank or from government sector, or sometimes we see those who get or take financial support advantage from different loans, they misuse this money for establishing heavy industry in our country. So this is also another reason. And second one is lack of necessary number of land, river and airports. Actually we have not suitable place for establishing necessary industry, heavy industry, large industry, and whenever we cannot pay attention for establishing different types industry, and the main reason is limited number of land, river and airport facilities. Okay, then third one is higher price of fuel and gas. We know in our country always we face this problem, the higher price of fuel and gas, and this is also a barrier in our industrial sector, because these fuel and gas are necessary for industrial production. Number 4, insufficiency in the production and supply of those. Number 5, insufficiency of roads and bridges and their underdeveloped states. I have discussed this point, that economic infrastructure in our country is underdeveloped, and for this the industrial sector is not developing here. And number 6, political instability. Of course, this is a big problem, big obstacle. As a developing country, we cannot see the stable political environment here, and we see different types political problems in our political environment, and for this we cannot transport or transfer or export different commodities within our country and also outside our country. Dear students, I have discussed about the obstacles in industrial sector. Now, socio-economic obstacles. Socio-economic obstacles, there are two types barriers. We can see the two types: obstacle, social and economical. What are the economical obstacle? I think it will be easy for you to say the problems in economical problem, because already I have discussed about these problems. So what is the first obstacle in economic sector? The weak and inadequate infrastructure. Weak and inadequate infrastructure. I mean, our economic infrastructure is not developed. I mean, our road, bridge, culvert is not sufficient or not developed in our country. So it is in this economic infrastructure create barrier to our economic development. And second one, bank and other financial institutions are not enough to cater the total demand of loan. I mean, bank and other financial institutions, and we have not sufficient or financial institutions, they are not able to provide sufficient loan or financial support to the entrepreneur, and for this they lost their eagerness for establishing industry in our country. And sometimes we see those who take different advantage or loan from bank, they cannot use this money for establishing industry in our country. This is also one of the major problem. Okay, and another one is social problem. Social problem, illiteracy of mass people. We know a major portion of our people, they are illiterate, and those who are literate or educated person, their education is related, actually their education bookish and knowledge based, so they cannot apply their knowledge properly. So we need our students will acquire proper technical knowledge so that they can apply their knowledge in different sector or fields. Okay, malnutrition and lack of good health. Malnutrition, of course, here we have low per capita income, and due to low per capita income, the people, they cannot buy their nutritious food nutritious food and they cannot take nutritious food, and lack of good health. I mean, government and non-government sector, they are not able to provide health facilities to the people, so they suffer from malnutrition and ill health. Another one, eagerness and ability to take an initiative. As their income low, per capita income low, and they cannot get proper financial support from government or non-government sector, so they cannot invest their money in the proper section. Okay. Number 4, backwardness of women. Half of our population is women, but most of them are illiterate, and they cannot contribute or they cannot bear the responsibility of education and healthcare responsibilities of their family member, and they cannot participate in decision making in their family level and also in national level. So it is also one of the social problem, because we need the participation of women in our all activities. Then we can expect social development. Okay. Overpopulation, of course, overpopulation is a major problem, and due to overpopulation, our government cannot take different initiative in different sector like education, health, and other sector. Okay. Unemployment, this is also one of the major problem, and unemployment give birth to various social problem. I mean, those who are young, especially, they involve themselves in different criminal activities. Okay. Now, economic growth and economic development. Economic growth and economic development are not the same concept. Actually, when we hear these two concepts, economic growth and economic development, we understand these two terms carry the same meaning, but actually these two terms carry the different meanings. If we see the definition of growth, economic growth and economic development, it will be clear to you. Dear students, please pay your attention. Economic growth. Sorry, it will be the definition of economic growth. Sorry, economic development. By development, we also mean overall improvement, making and development of overall socio-economic prosperity by utilizing the assets and potentials of the country can be called economic development. I mean, economic development means overall development of different things. Okay. I mean, and economic development, the rate of annual growth of national income. Here, economic growth, it will be economic growth. The rate of annual growth of national income of a country is called the rate of growth. I mean, here in economic growth, only one concept, I mean the increase of gross national income. It will be only one concept is included here, I mean in economic growth. Okay. And economic development, different dimensions are included here, but in economic growth I have said only one concept, I mean the growth of gross national income. The increase of or annual growth of national income will be counted here. Now, economic development takes, I have said population and price level into consideration along with the rate of growth. I mean, when we will count the economic development also takes population and price level into consideration along with the rate of growth. There is an example. If the growth rate, I mean if the growth rate is 2% and the population increase at the rate of 2%, per capita income will remain the same. I mean, population growth rate 2% and the growth rate, annual growth rate, annual growth of national income is 2%. The per capita income will the same, because growth rate and population growth rate same. So per capita income will be same here. So we cannot say the development, economic development is taking place, because growth rate and population growth rate same. So per capita income same. So economic development is not taking place. Then if the economic growth rate is more, I mean growth rate is more, I mean the gross national income is more. When the gross national income will be more than the rate of population growth, only then, I mean the growth rate of national income will be more than the population growth rate, only then per capita income will increase. Then per capita income will be increased, and it can be said that the economic development is taking place. There are also some outputs of economic development. I am saying shortly, economic development is the maximum welfare. When we see the economic development is taking place in a country, there are some outputs, and on the basis of this criteria we can say that economic development is taking place in a country. Economic development is the maximum welfare of all the people of the country. Number 2, the increase of per capita income. Number 3, good governance, scope of education and the facility of healthcare reached to all the people. Okay, these are the output of economic development. The next one is agriculture based economy transport to town based economy. Income of the people will increase, the rate of savings as income increase, so capital formation, savings, investment also will be increased. Employment generation increase, I mean employment opportunity will be created, unemployment decrease and production further increase. Okay, then gradual development in the standard of living. As per capita income increase, so we see capital formation, investment increase, and we see the living developed living standard. Okay, dear students, you can take a short screen from here, this homework. There is a homework. This is all for today. I know now you are busy to prepare your home or assignment which are assigned by the government, and I hope you will continue your study beside the preparation of assignment, and you will bear your responsibility or perform your duties and responsibilities towards your family member and other relatives, and like this way you can be a good human being. Stay safe, dear. Allah Hafiz.